This is an update from Kozlowski Farm. It's March 18th, 2018. This is my garden. It's a disaster. I have tons of work to do. And this year I'm not going to rotate my plants. Next year I will. This is my tomato section. I plan to have over 200 tomatoes in these rows, planting carrots in the center of each aisle, like right up and down here. And peppers and eggplant and some others. Plan to have 200 or maybe even more than 200 tomatoes. I got a lot of work to do here. I'm a little afraid about disease because I never took the plants out from last year. But I'm going to bleach these posts down. I'm going to dig as deep as I can and put new soil in with compost, manure, peat moss, so the roots go straight on down. And I just got to make sure I add the calcium to the garden, because if you don't have calcium in your garden, you're going to have bad tasting tomatoes. So let me show you the next part. Again, I never cleaned up my garden at all last year. Look at these eggplant. Now you're supposed to let this vegetables grow until they really stop growing and pull it out when winter hits. But I never did that. So we'll see if it is a problem. Where I had the eggplant, I'll put peppers here, and the peppers I have eggplant. I'll plan to grow over 100 eggplants and 500 peppers. So that's what this section is here for. So there's the tomatoes. These are gonna be peppers and eggplant. I forgot I'm also gonna put carrots on the other side there. I really want to try carrots this year. I have never really did that. What's amazing, I got to find out what the weed tarp I put in this section here is terrible. I have no idea why the weeds grew through it like that. But other sections, they were outstanding. So I got to look up the weed tarp I put in, because it really, really helps, and it keeps the moisture in the ground where you don't really have to water. Okay, let me move on here. Now this is my 2017-18 weather disaster with my greenhouse. It totally tore apart. I really got to we have the replacement part, so I plan to put it up next week, but it totally tore. The other parts I might make a little mini greenhouse, because I really need to expand a little bit with all the plants I'm growing. So maybe I'll make a little shift of a greenhouse. I don't know if these vegetable trees will continue to grow. It looks like 3 of them will. These 3 look still pretty healthy. They're apples and pears and plums. See, there's the plum. Let me see what this one is. There's a pear. I have 2 others going in the back. And these are like a Fuji apple, a red Macintosh apple. I mean, look at it. It's a shame that that broke, but I love the greenhouse. I think it's great. It's nice that you can put your plants inside and outside, and then you can start new ones. Now down this line, it shows my disaster I had last year with weeding and cleaning in certain parts. But down this whole line here is all strawberries. It's going to be over 200. I would expect about 250 strawberry plants. So I got to weed that out. Now this was my little stream bean section I had here. I'm going to expand it out and put 2 or 3 rows of down the pole beans. And a lot of these areas here, because a lot of the area I just ran out of time to plant. I'm going to have cabbage and broccoli, all your vegetables, your lettuce, in this section, because it's partly shaded. See, I have a whole bunch of trees here, and there's none. So part of the day is going to be sun, which is the morning, and the end of the day is going to be in the shade. So it is really good for your vegetables that can't take the heat and the sun. Now, if you ever looked at if you ever wanted beans, what you have when they're dried up like this. Let me see if I can do this. See, there's your bean that you can plant. Whoop, just fell out. Well, anyway, that's how people get their beans for the next year. Right down this, what you have all these weeds growing here. This was asparagus. Once I clean it out, they're going to start sprouting with it very soon. So I need to do that next weekend, and hopefully they'll start sprouting. And before you know it, we should have. This is my 3rd year of asparagus, so that's when you can start picking, and just keep on picking them. Because if you pick them before, the plants don't grow the same, so you got to make them grow into that bush, the fern. Now over here, and see all these trellises I have here. That's going to be all cucumbers, and I might put a couple extra rows. And where I have spaces, that's where I plan to put my broccoli and cauliflower and vegetables like that, cabbage, bush beans. So, you know, I have a large, long row here. The cucumbers grew outstanding last year. What was amazing, I don't know if it's because of the trees or not, but I read something, if you had a weed barrier, the bugs would go to the weeds instead of the plants. And that's what these are. These are weeds. And so, and it worked outstanding. It actually worked. I couldn't believe it. So, I don't know if I'm going to do that again. Maybe I grow another weed somewhere else, or somewhere to attract more beneficial insects would help. Because this is going to be a pain in the butt to clean those weeds out. So, let me turn around. Let me show you that. Look at it. Look at all those weeds. That's crazy. So, like I said, in between, I'm going to have your vegetables down this line. More vegetables and asparagus. I'm going to plant for the following year. I love growing asparagus. It's one of the healthiest things you could eat. Okay, let me continue going around. See, that's a long line of strawberries. And with more strawberries, let me show you. This is my compost machine. I really need to start composting. My wife bought this for me and I have barely used it. But I want to start picking up the grass. And we always cut the grass and left it on the ground. This year I want to pick it up and start using this composting. And it's going to cut down the weeds inside of the garden too. And this is pretty sad. This was my strawberries with weeds in it. But the strawberries are going to continue to grow. So you can see some strawberries like this right in here. Or here. So once I weed that out, once the snow stops, it gets a little warmer, I'm going to weed that out and get several more of those. It's so much easier when you don't have to bend down to pick your strawberries. It's a nice thing to have in the morning. Okay, well anyway, thanks everybody for listening. That's an update from the Kozlowski family farm. Bye everyone. Take care. Bye.